This was not a dream. The sea betrayed them. A storm struck, and they were cast onto a land that should not exist, led to something waiting. They asked, "Who are you?" He answered, "I am the Dajjal." This is the very fitna the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us of. This is the story of the man who saw the Dajjal. Don't let this story fade. Subscribe to Qasas religious stories so you never miss the ones that were meant to reach you. Now, let us begin. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to warn his companions about Dajjal again and again. He said, "There has been no fitna from the creation of Adam until the hour greater than the fitna of Dajjal." He told them what to expect. That Dajjal would come with tricks and power, that he would claim to be a prophet, then claim to be Allah. He warned them in detail, so often that the companions thought Dajjal might appear in their own time. But one day, something different happened. A man came forward, not with a dream, not with a vision, but with something he had seen with his own eyes. There was a man named Tamim ad-Dari, radiyallahu anhu. He was once a Christian, but he accepted Islam and came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with a story, a true story, something that happened to him. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gathered the people. He stood before them in the masjid and said, "Tamim ad-Dari told me something, and it agrees with what I've been telling you." He saw the Dajjal, and then he allowed Tamim to speak. Tamim, radiyallahu anhu, said he had once boarded a ship with 30 other men, strong men from Arab tribes. But the sea is not loyal to men. A storm struck. Winds tore the sails. Waves pushed them for a whole month across the ocean. Until one day, they were thrown ashore. A strange island, silent, empty. No sign of people, just rocks, trees, and something else. As they stepped onto the island, something moved. A creature, covered entirely in hair, so much that they couldn't tell where its face was, or even which side was front. They asked it, "Who are you?" It said, "I am Al-Jassasah." They asked again, "What is Al-Jassasah?" But the creature didn't answer. It pointed and said, "Go to the monastery. There, someone is waiting for you." They walked, slowly, step by step. They said nothing. They didn't run. They just followed, because they didn't know what waited for them, only that something was expecting them. They reached the building, and inside, they saw him. A man, huge in size, stronger than anyone they had seen. But he was not free. He was chained, arms bound to his neck, legs shackled down to his ankles, locked, imprisoned. He looked at them and asked, "Have the palm trees of Baisan begun to bear fruit?" They said, "Yes." He said, "They will soon stop." Then he asked, "Is there still water in the lake of Tiberias?" They replied, "Yes." He said, "It will soon dry up." Then he asked, "Has the unlettered prophet appeared in Mecca?" They said, "Yes." He left Mecca and settled in Yathrib. The man fell silent. Then he said, "If I were free, I would march to him this very moment." And then he said, "I am the Dajjal." Tamim and his companions left the island. They returned with this story, just as they had seen and heard it. And when the Prophet ﷺ heard it, he said clearly, "He told the truth. This is what I have been warning you about, Dajjal." It was no longer just unseen knowledge. It had been witnessed. Dajjal was real, alive, and chained, but only until the time was right. When they returned from the island, they didn't wait. They didn't rest. They rushed to Medina to tell the Prophet ﷺ, because they had seen something the world wasn't ready for. And they knew this story wasn't theirs to keep. They had to pass it on before the chains broke. When the Prophet ﷺ finished telling the people, the masjid was silent. The companions, may Allah be pleased with them, sat still. Some looked at the ground, others at each other, because now it wasn't just knowledge. They knew he was real and close, and every moment from now was a step closer to his release. They had always believed, but now they had seen how close it really was. The Prophet ﷺ once said, "I fear Dajjal for you more than any other trial." And he said, "Every prophet warned his people of Dajjal, but I will tell you something no one told before. Dajjal is one-eyed, and your Lord is not one-eyed." He wasn't just giving signs, he was giving protection, through truth, through clarity, through Iman. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Dajjal will appear with great deception. He will have a paradise and a hellfire, but his paradise will be fire, and his fire will be paradise. He will perform what people think are miracles. He will make rain fall, crops grow. He will bring wealth and ease. He will go to a man and say, 'What if I bring your parents back to life?' And people will believe, even though it's a trick. He will travel across every city and land, except Mecca and Medina, because the angels will guard their gates. He will claim to be a prophet, then he will claim to be Allah, and many will follow him. But the Prophet ﷺ told us how to protect ourselves. Whoever memorizes the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf will be protected from the fitna of Dajjal. He told us, hold to your faith, keep your salah, know the truth, so the false won't fool you. Because when Dajjal comes, it will not be easy to resist. The Prophet ﷺ didn't tell this story to entertain us. He told it so we'd remember, to prepare us, to know that Dajjal is real, that he is alive, and that one day the chains will break. Until then, guard your faith, protect your salah, and remember what the Prophet ﷺ said. Whoever memorizes the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf will be protected from Dajjal. So don't let this story fade. Subscribe to Qasas religious stories, and let the next story reach you just when you need it.